We'll try that again. Hello. Happy Tuesday, everybody. So today we have a fun session on communicating your value proposition. I'm just going to hop right into it. And make sure that you guys have all connected with each other, right? I always find that going through the journey with other people is easier than just being captive to our own ideas, limiting beliefs, and crazy thoughts we have in our head. So look, we're going to go through value proposition clarity, crafting a clear value proposition, who's your audience, how do we communicate your value proposition, and really diving into process, internal comms, multi-channel comms, measuring success, case studies, and applied learnings. So if you think about value proposition clarity, are you 100% clear on these four areas? Who we are, right? Like, who are you as a company? What do we offer? Who is your ideal agent? And how do you help somebody grow? So the fourth one is why people go to you. Now, if you don't have a prescriptive growth path, you're going to have retention issues, right? The second part to that is if you don't have a prescriptive growth path, you can't control time and resources. Well, what does that mean when you all hear that? I see a bunch of deer in headlights, and I'm saying that because I love you all. All right, let me go into this. Scaling, right? Things need to be profitable, right? Like your business model needs to make money. Your processes of what you do with people for growth have to be repeatable. Based on those repeatable outcomes, it should be predictable in what the results are, and then it needs to be scalable through other people. The more variables there are, the harder it is to scale anything, because then everything becomes custom and you can't scale custom. Right. So if you think about it, if you're a listing agent, we have a 12-track course that helps you grow your business as a listing agent. Same thing with buyers, same things with prospecting, and same thing as a team, right? If not, there's just so many different variables because all businesses are different, right? So just like we believe that there's a core value proposition in how you work with people, what you do, and everything else, it should be the same in your business. And look, building a team and everything takes a lot of time, right? So when you think about this, who are we? Can anyone describe who their team is? Go ahead, Kathy.
I'm an introvert, but I'll speak up. Um, our team is one that I want to keep it small. So we're a smaller team, and for the reason I really want to keep the quality of our team so I can keep an eye on everyone. If I had a huge team, I feel like I wouldn't have control over the quality. And one of the biggest things that I tell my team is we want to take care of people. So, it's more than just getting a paycheck at the end of the day. This is people's most important investment of their lives. And we need to make sure they're feeling very well taken care of.
So pretty much who we are is a team that focuses on taking care of people, where it's not a transaction, it's a relationship. That's who you are, and if people don't fit into that bucket, right? So
Right.
I don't know why this is taking so long today, but Cassandra, go ahead.
Yeah, actually very similar. We kind of even made a little slogan around it that says no client left behind. No matter how difficult the situation or how much of an uphill battle, like the key here is to help people to achieve their goal.
So I'll give you an example. I did this actually in a coaching call with Nelson and Rob, and they're here. So look, I just literally typed into ChatGPT, which knows myself and my business really well. What is my brand personality for Chirag Shah Coaching, and how would you describe my voice? But this is kind of who we are, right? It's confident, elevated, and results-driven guide. So it walks between luxury and practicality, expert but never arrogant, high performance but human, structured yet dynamic, visionary and yet tactical, connector of people. Think luxury concierge meets Navy SEAL of business strategy. That's who we are as a company, right? So if you look at voice, direct and no fluff, conversation but elevated, emotive and vision oriented, tough love, and always with respect. And then it kind of goes through. If someone heard you speak or read your content, you don't need more tools. You don't need the right system, the right focus, and someone to hold you to the standard you know you're capable of. That's what we do here. This is who we are in a nutshell, right? This here. So now if we go into this, this gives more of who it is, but this doesn't really answer the question. The other one does better, right? So when you talk about who you are, it needs to be really succinct. What you offer is that value proposition guide, right? The ideal agent is who's the right person for your team, right? So if you look at Kathy's example, right? She wants, the ideal agent is somebody that sees the world the way that she does, and her resources help align them and help them grow on that path faster than they could on their own. Does that make sense to everybody? This is why it takes so much time in doing this, because you're literally building a brand and an organization from scratch with little to no training from NAR or very many third parties. Think about it. If you go sign up for team training, how much of this stuff do you really find out there? Not a lot, right? So look, identifying your audience. Who is your ideal agent, right? So when you start thinking about that, where are they in their career? Having a group of experienced agents and new agents causes friction. New agents are like newborn children. Experienced agents are like successful adults that want coaching, right? And resources. What resources and support is the agent you're looking for? What resource and support is the agent looking for in joining your team, right? We talk about in sales, what's the gap, right? Where is the gap in their business? Where they are today, where they want to go. Your resources should fill that need. What values must they have, right? So if you go back to Kathy's example, they have to have that value of looking at this as more than a transaction, but a relationship, right? And what's their pain point? You solve problems for profit in everything you do.
I have something to add too.
Yep.
I recently was interviewing for agents and brought on 3 new team members. And this is coming from a few years of just having new agents all the time, brand new. And these 3 that I just brought on have experience, and what they were looking for primarily, because they've already been doing real estate. They're like, well, what kind of coaching, mentoring, how can you help me build my business? That was the primary thing that they were looking for. And they've been great so far. I can tell they're motivated. They're doing this coaching program along with me, and it's been great so far.
You always ask people when they say that they're looking for coaching, I'm like, are you capable of doing 3 things? Can you listen? Can you follow directions? And can you follow through? If you can do those 3 things, we can help you. If you can't do any one of those 3 things, this is not for you, right? Communicating your value proposition. Perceived value. Does anyone know the difference besides Wayne, who's been here for a long time? Perceived value and actualized value. Can anyone tell me the difference between the 2? Okay. So this is a sales lesson here. Perceived value are all the things that we feel that we offer somebody, right? So I can go to being a listing agent. It could be Compass 3-phase marketing. It could be Compass One. It could be the technology. It could be collections. It could be the network. It could be your marketing. Those are all the things that you offer. Actualized value is what an agent or a client feels they're getting for you, right? And that is all in how it's communicated. That's the words, that's the gap. The goal is to turn what you know you offer, your perceived value, into actualized value, right? My perceived value is that I have 17,000 hours of coaching Compass agents. I've worked with some of the best agents in America. We've grown and scaled the largest community of Compass agents in the world. I both worked as a Compass employee and as a coach and as an agent. I was the one who literally created Pitch and Compass, how you sell the value of Compass to consumers. I built the Robert Refkin Agent Action Plan. Like my list goes on, and that means absolutely nothing. Because in coaching, my actualized value is based on how I communicate the value of these things to you that you could use them in your business. Now, the way for a team leader is, how do you communicate the value that you bring as a team leader and the resources that you provide that helps the agent solve their pain point, fill their gap, and align them on a planned path of growth? Does that make sense, everybody? So internal communications, it all starts with onboarding, right? How do the agents joining your team get the most out of the team's resources and value proposition? And that should both be like a prescriptive playbook and case studies, right? You should have case studies that said, when John came to the team, this is where he was, this is how he used these resources, and this is the results he got. It will get somebody more intrigued and interested in doing what you're suggesting them, that planned path of growth, than they would if you just literally just gave them a list of things that you did, right? Team meetings. At the end of each team meeting, share an agent success story, which is social proof, right? We want to highlight Wayne today. Wayne was able to use our lead program paired with our structured role playing and the coaching we're getting from Schrag. Wayne, share what happened when you used all three. You want to reintroduce your value proposition at every team meeting through third-party testimonials. In your internal newsletters and and email updates, right? You can share the win of the week, best practices for maximizing your resource, right? Think about how Compass shares to use their technology and resources, right? They're constantly reinforcing what they have through trainings. Team trainings and workshops. You can also create workshops and trainings around your resources, tactical strategies for growth. And there's always one-on-one check-ins, right? And this is really getting feedback from how your agents are using your resources and always looking to optimize your processes. That's why we reach out to all of you so much to figure out what you guys need, where we can make it better, where we can make it easier, right? So if you think about it, so far, just in the 4 or 5 slides that we've shared, do you feel that you all have some work to do?
Yes.
This is how you build a world-class organization. Multi-channel communications, right? A website to join our team page, right? So you can build this with highlights and testimonials and experiences that people have. Social media, you can use storytelling to talk about your agents, the wins, and the way they support your community, your clients. Agent-to-agent email marketing, right? If you're marketing to other agents, stop saying, we have leads, start sharing the destination of where your leads gets them to. Again, you could do team trainings and workshops, right? You can invite everybody and teach them something of value. Same way we did webinars and many of you signed up, right? A recruiting guide, print collateral highlighting your team, culture, and resources in a clear, concise, and quantifiable way. You want to slowly start chipping away at each one of these things at once, right? So if you look at a join our team page, build it, implement it, start using it, then go to the next one, then go to the next one. And based on where you are in your business, you're all going to prioritize this differently. Measuring success, right? You're going to want to start measuring the success of your agents. Where were they today? Where were they end of year 1? Where they start year 2? Like, you're going to want to build case studies of growth of where people were. Because recruiting to growth and actual experiences is the fastest way to turn a skeptical person into somebody that's really excited to join. Case studies, right? Share the original feeling. You know, when Wayne joined our team, he was feeling like he was alone, that he wanted to be part of a bigger vision, that he needed help with blank, 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 and blank. Then when Wayne joined, he took advantage of blank, 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 and this is exactly what Wayne did, and here's the outcome. So you start spending 20% of it on the original feeling, 30% on the actions, 50% on building that clear picture of the outcome. And then you ask Wayne, as a result of what you got, how did it impact your life? And Wayne will say, I was able to pay off my debt. I was able to put money in the bank. I was able to go on vacation, whatever it is. That's the destination, right? That outcome is what people are buying and they're getting into. So let me walk you through something called the movement marketing pyramid, right? Not on here, but it's something you want to think about. In the movement marketing pyramid, the first part's the theory. The theory is if I join Kathy's team, this is what happens. Then there's the how-to. Here are all the things that we do to support your growth. As a result of them happening, here's what people have found, right? That you share the actual results. As that result, here's how it made their life better, right? That top part of the pyramid is called transcendence, where now you're in a pyramid, because you're doing this thoughtfully, connecting the theory of joining your team and actual benefits in people's lives. That's the same pyramid that Tony Robbins follows. And that's why people are like, Tony Robbins changed my life, because he teaches people in this way. He teaches them to think in this way, right? Meanwhile, the person did all the work, but they attribute it to someone or something else because they built this in a pyramid. So I left plenty of time for questions here, because for us, while this group remains small, it could be more of an interactive work lab, right? So item 1, a brief description. I don't know why this says, this is really weird. I don't know why it says item 1, another item, another item. All right. So the first thing you want to do is go back here. This is what you need to describe. So if you're going to go do this, go into ChatGPT and says, I am looking for clarity on my team's value proposition. I want to establish who we are. Ask me questions one by one till you can confidently present a clear and concise statement. What do we offer? Ask me questions one by one, same exact thing. And then the next part that I want you to do is the ideal agent. Right? Be really clear on who this is. And again, you can use ChatGPT to describe the problem, ask me questions one by one, and it will give you an answer. Look, if we're not leveraging technology, it's something for $20 a month that has 150 IQ and everything in every job field in the world, right? You'll get clear on this part. You'll identify who the right agent is, right? You can start going through the perceived value and actualized value. And the really important part is understanding how you communicate to agents. All right, so let me open this up to the question and answer portion of our session. It's a lot of information I just shared.
For sure, I'm just going to say there are a few people on here that weren't on here last week. So in trying to organize an outside chat, if you weren't here last week, if you want to put your email in the chat, I can include you on that attempt. I'm collecting the data first right now, but I'll have a time set by tomorrow probably.
So essentially what she's doing is Robin's building an accountability group for team leaders that are going through the training so they can do working sessions, they could collaborate with each other, and they could share their learnings with each other.
Hey, Chirag, I have a question.
Yep.
So you gave different models of like different teams, and one of the models that I tend to lean more towards is a partnership type of relationship. So what type of questions would you suggest I would ask myself as to what it is I'm looking for in a partner?
So you need to align on values first, right? So if you're looking at a partnership model, it's, do you guys have the same value? Do you have, the most important thing in partnerships is understanding if their view on investing into businesses is the same as yours. I'll give you an actual example. So I joined, when I got into real estate, I literally met somebody at the gym. I was a financial consultant, and him and I bonded on some guy saying that if you do cardio after you lift weights, you're going to destroy your body, which is the stupidest thing in the world. And so at the end, we started talking. He said he did real estate, that he had a whole new construction development. I was a financial consultant. I was thinking of getting my license. So I was like, cool, can you sponsor me? Right. Fast forward a couple of years, we ended up becoming partners. Well, within the first year of doing this, our office is split into two different things. I had the conference room in the back office. He had this big front room. Our office had 3 different areas, and we did not talk. right? Like it just went out the window because the way that we saw business and investing was completely different. So we had a 50-50 partnership. So in the beginning, I did recruiting and he did sales. I was doing recruiting well. Actually, sorry, I did sales and he did recruiting well. He didn't like the way I was doing it, or I was earning too much money. Then we flipped and he wasn't doing it and he would not invest money into anything. So what ended up happening, it was a slow bleed, right? Because, you know, when you don't invest into growth and a solution, the cost of figuring it out is the high cost of running your business in life every month, right? So our partnership eventually dissolved. We didn't talk for a while. Eventually we became friends again. We both learned from our lesson. And the biggest takeaway I can share with you is, look, you're gonna, in a partnership, it's like, what do you want, right? It's like a relationship and getting married. Like, how do you guys see business? How do you see making decisions? How do you see shared resources? If one person's doing 60% of the business and the other one's doing 40, but they have to split the cost 50-50. Like there's all these different scenarios that you have to think of. And when people make these models, they only think about, oh, I need this and I want to do this and it's great. And they never look at the downside, right? It's like two people that fall in love that like are based on shared experiences and not like overlapping values in real life, that it dissipates over time.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. That was helpful.
And go very slowly into this, right? You're not buying like a mail order bride or spouse. Like, oh, yep, sign me up. We'll get married, right? Nelson, you have a question? I see you're muted.
Am I unmuted?
Yep.
All right. In regards to partnerships, I think just like your best defense is the best offense, have your exit strategy very clearly communicated.
Yep. Anyone else have a question? All right, so we're all good on what we need to do. We're all good on our ChatGPT prompts. We're all going to connect with Robin and this group is going to get started. Look, this is the loneliest business in the world. And I find way more value for all of you, like an enhanced value of running teams and learning from each other. Because what you do in one market is really easy replicatable in another. Right? So you have shared experiences and shared growth, and you're all building a system based on the same foundation. So I'll give you all 6 minutes back in your day if no one has any questions. And with love in my heart, I love you all. Connect with Robin and share with me how I can best support your group as well. And let's keep growing together. David, do you have a question? I see you just unmute yourself.
No, I just wanted to say hi, everybody. And so I'm more of a listening mode today.
Do you guys want me to leave you guys all on here on your own for a little bit, just to all connect on like next steps for the group, Robin?
Sure, I can just let everyone know where I'm at with everything. So
Perfect. I'm going to make you the host. I feel like this should be something that you can feel free to speak on your own.
Cassandra, I don't think I have your email. You weren't on my list from last week. So if you could give me, and John, I didn't have your email either. So basically I just sent out I'm going to send those that I'm getting emails today. I'll send you a Google form and we're just fill it out based on your time zone. I know what everyone's time zones are. So I'll just then do the best I can to make it where the most people can do it. And again, we'll try and I think just have it available every week. And whoever can make it just like this. So I think
Robin, why
that's
don't you introduce yourself as to who you
who I
are and
am.
what your role is? Yeah.
Sure. So I work with Nelson Taylor. We're part of the Blackstone team in Rhode Island. And I am the director of client services. Nelson and I have worked together for about 12 years, and I'm kind of just like the back end for our team, transaction coordination, management of staff and things like that. So, as Chirag said last week, he thinks that I'm suited for this organization, which is kind of what I do all day. So that's why he put me on this. But yeah, so
And she's the best in the business.
thanks, Nelson.
Don't steal her.
Noted.
Are you guys
Well,
in pro-
if you've provided your value proposition well, right? People come for value, they stay for culture. You know, people can't steal your people.
Oh my gosh.
Very true. All right,
I-
so I'll send that email out to you guys that I just got your emails, and then let's say by if you could get back to me by tomorrow, then by Thursday I can put together a meeting and I'll invite everyone to it. So,
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
all right.
Thank you.
thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Robin.
Bye.
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 Bye, everybody.
Have a good day, everybody.